Welcome to Often Pacing on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Tim Walker will be joined by Matt Young and Oliver Cownie as they delve into the form for today's Pinjarra harness meeting, as well as an early look at tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. We are Often Pacing.
It's great to have your company on this Monday morning, the 6th of May, for another edition of Off and Pacing. We've got Matt and Ollie ready to go. Aiden Campo also will be a special guest this morning, so there is plenty to work through and plenty to stay tuned for over the next half hour here this morning on Tab Radio. It is great to have your company off the back of another terrific weekend of harness racing. As I said, we've got Aiden Campo to join us very, very shortly. We've also got Ollie and Matt who are standing by, and we're going to go back through Friday night, look ahead towards Pinjarra today and Gloucester Park tomorrow night. But before we welcome in our experts for this morning, Matt and Ollie, to give us the winners over the next couple of days, let's go back and relive the concluding stages of Friday night's 4 and 5 year old championship, which was the feature event.
Mr. Smarty coming after Skylord now, 27.5. Skylord in front. Mr. Smarty's ahead away. McDonald is throwing everything at the favourite, trying to get to Skylord, and they've raced away from behind the Black Flash, Al Capone, and then Skylord around the turn on the outside. Mr. Smarty now has raced up and shot past Skylord, and it looked over, sprinted away, and then on the Black Flash, followed by Al Capone, but Mr. Smarty raced away. Al Capone running home strongly. Mr. Smarty in front of Al Capone and Hale St. Louis, and Mr. Smarty does it well. Big win from Al Capone. Hale St. Louis, and fourth in Skylure.
He is just that, Mr. Smarty, a very, very talented performer already here in the West. And we spoke to Gary Hall Senior on the Sports Daily earlier on this morning, and he confirmed again the raps that both he and Stewie McDonald put on the horse in the build-up to last week's $50,000 feature. So let's get a look at Friday night's Gloucester Park meeting, as well as a look towards this afternoon and tomorrow night. And Ollie Cownie is with us on the line. Hello to you, Ollie.
Hi, Tim.
How do we find you this morning?
I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
Going along very nicely. And Matt Young is with us as well. Matt, a very good morning to you.
Good morning again, Tim. Ollie, everyone tuned in.
Great to have you along with us today as well, Matt. So, gents, let's have a look towards, back at Friday night, and obviously the 4 and 5 year old championship was the feature event. Ollie, I'm sure you would have heard all of the raps that were put on Mr. Smarty in the build up to Friday night, and we'd had a pretty good sample size to work with, but the way that he did that in what was one of his biggest tests so far, how did you assess it?
It was just amazing, the speculation leading in about how good he may be, the well-named Mr. Smarty. I think really the way the race was run in the end, it was a real test for him. Jocelyn Young, really, really good drive, I thought, on Skylord. Got a real good breather in the early stages and then quickened up at 28 second quarter, which I think was exactly what she needed to do to try and beat Mr. Smarty. And in the end, Mr. Smarty was just too good. He just dug deep and was able to hold off Al Capone, who's raced some open class horses and been really, really competitive over the last few months. So he's a really good measure for where Mr. Smarty's at, and he's obviously a very, very smart horse.
Matt, how did you assess the feature event on Friday?
Yeah, he's electrifying when he's on the rail, Mr. Smarty, and I thought it'd be a really good test if he had to do the work outside of a horse such as Skylord. Skylord, I don't think has been going at his absolute best, but he gave it a good crack on Friday night. But Mr. Smarty, he looked to be under a little bit of pressure with about 650, 700 metres to go, but he just kept responding, and he got past Skylord and then just basically sat up for the photo late and waited for them a bit more. But it just seems to be two of him. When called upon, he can go into the well and get as much as he can out to be able to get the win, which we saw on Friday night, and it was outstanding. When he's in front, he just seems to be an absolute beast. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing what he can do throughout his 3-year-old preparation. I think the most important thing to take away from him as well is he's still relatively green and still learning the caper. So when everything is screwed down and it gets to the pointy end, I'm expecting him to improve even more once he learns the racing caper.
And that clearly would be free-for-all company this time next year after the 4-year-old campaign, Matt.
Yeah, you'd definitely say so. He's going to go through this preparation and be a live chance to be able to take that step up to potentially never-ending later on this year.
Such an exciting prospect. What could come later on this year? The 4-year-old feature races never ending up against Mr. Smarty, provided that never ending gets to and from Sydney safely, because he's got a Eureka to worry about prior to that. Just the other one, gents. So, Ollie, before we get your horses to follow out of Friday night, a word on Artie by the Seaside, who we got to see for the second time here in the West.
I think in the end it was probably not the strongest of Group 3 for 50 grand. In the end, it really did look her race on paper after being so impressive, beating Steno a few weeks earlier. She just strolled to the front, and pretty much once she got to the front, she never really looked like losing. It was a pretty soft win late. She only won by 5 metres, but I think she could have won by a whole lot further. Achani Girl and Nullarbor Navajo were really good in behind to battle on and run placings there from awkward positions in the race.
And Matt, just a word there as well on the Bond-trained pacer that's really made an impact over here in the West already.
Yeah, she was never getting beaten in that race. She does seem to follow speed really well, like against Steno. She was brilliant there, and they went quick time. The other day she was out in front, just travelled nice and strong by herself. But when she got out by Lonesome coming to the turn, she just wanted to prick the ears a little bit and wait for her opposition. Ashani Gill was able to take some ground off, but as soon as she heard the footsteps, she lifted again and was able to go to the line, pricking her ears at the line as well. So I do agree that she could have won by further, but at this stage she's just conserving her energy, and yeah, she's a very smart horse.
Keep going, Matt, with some horses to follow from Friday nights.
Yeah, I thought Friday night we saw a couple of nice horses that could be put into the black book. I thought Rockmaster's performance was absolutely outstanding, coming 3 wide, no cover. Race really wasn't run to suit him, and he was first up and he just kept on coming, and I thought the performance was full of merit. He's a very smart horse, but on that run looks like he'll be winning one very soon. 2 Bob Cracker went at the line bolting. First up run was disappointing, but Standing Stars seemed to be his better caper, and the trial was really good prior to his first run. So Friday was a better understanding of where he's at, and I think those Standing Start races he's going to get into one of them at each way odds and bob up very soon. And Sugar Delight in the last race I thought was really good. She was held up at a vital point and then got home really powerfully. For a horse only having her second start against that sort of group of fillies, I think she's going to go on. She is racing or down to race tomorrow at Gloucester Park. I don't think she can win at this stage, but looking forward, I think she's going to win her fair share of 3-year-old races going forward.
All right, Ollie, you've got a couple as well to follow out of Friday.
In the first race, I thought the run of Mega Mac was huge. He was a long way back in the run, and they sort of walked along with Duty Bound out in front trying to lock up the main danger in Wall Street Girl, and Mega Mac took off and sustained a really good run and took a lot of ground off the winner, Duty Bound. So I thought he was really good there. In a similar race to this, he can bob up again at a price. And then in race 5, I thought there's a horse here that's pretty lightly raced so far, Storm the Beach. But ever since his run close up second behind Mickey's Beach, I've just been so impressed by the way he goes about things. He's still so green, but super talented, and I think there's a win for him again soon in a similar sort of race. I think if he drew really well in a race like this, he'd be able to run into the money, but drawn out of it there on Friday, and he was competitive in the end, but just couldn't quite get into it from the back.
Okay, so that is Mega Max Storm the Beach for Ollie from Friday night. Rockmeister, 2 Bob Cracker, Sugar Delight for Matt Young. Now, Matt, you were all around it last week in terms of Pinjarra on Monday. There was a couple of exactas and trifecta plays where you were very close to nailing them, and Better Have Faith brought home the day quite nicely there at Pinjarra for you last week. Now, you are going to start off in the opening event today and see if we can get on the board in style.
Yeah, going with the honours in the first just for a place only. I think this horse has improved recently. As long as he can do everything right, I think the honours step, get into a pretty good position. Shouldn't be any further back than leaders back, 3 back the pegs. So the handicap's really going to make things tough for a lot of those back markers. And I thought over the short course stand, the Honours was a really good place chance in race number 1. Then we go on to the final 2 races on the program, where I was very keen on Wall Street Girl in race 8. I thought she's got the draw advantage, and I just think she's got the race fitness and the toughness to be able to overcome the draw and be able to get the job done. So race 8, number 6, Wall Street Girl, was a strong play of mine on the day. And in the last, race 9, number 1, I've gone from nearly declaring Parakeet as my best of the day to now going against Parakeet with the scratching and the start being gained by Me Flash, who raced on Saturday night. He's been racing in stronger company in recent runs. He's just a brilliant front runner. I think he'll lead, and I think he'll win the last. So he gets a great opportunity. So, yeah, 3 plays, and hopefully they get the job done, because if they don't, it's going to be a tough old day.
All right, so the Honours place only in race number 1, Wall Street Girl and Me Flash to bring home the day. Ollie, you're going to be doing a little bit of your work towards the back part of the day as well. You're starting off in race number 6 for the 3-year-olds here.
Race 6, I'm going to go with a place that hasn't run a place in 6 starts in Kinsabi. I just think it's shown a really nice turn of foot a few times in its career before peaking on the run late. Similar story last start when running 4th. I looked a certainty to run 3rd there until quite late, but I think Get Your Bets On is actually quite a handy horse, so I don't think that's too much of a knock on Kinsabi. Drops back to the mile here, draws the inside gate. I think it may possibly end up 3 pegs behind Songster and Prince of Pain, but I still think 3 pegs in this race with the really short price favourite out in front could be quite a good position, and it's quite a decent price of play. So I think Kinsabi will run a good race there. And then in race 7, I'm going with the horse that beat Kinsabi home there, and in Get Your Bets On. I thought it was really good last start to run 3rd and picked up really nicely late. Showed some promise early on, this horse, I thought, and then form maybe tapered off a little bit the last couple of runs last time in, and then I just think has a few ways it can win here. It's got quite a nice turn of foot, so I think it could be set up, and it's got some gate speed, so it can push forward at the start, and I think it's a decent price, so I'm happy to be with Get Your Bets On in race 7. And then echoing the thoughts of Matt in race 8, Wall Street Girl just absolutely flying at the moment. A few runs ago was super behind Rattling Lily, who drew worse than on that occasion. I don't think it's going to be able to maintain too much of an advantage early, but neither of them really do have much gate speed, so it may be able to stay in front of Rattling Lily. But either way, I think Wall Street Girl will be really, really hard to beat after being badly held up last start.
Okay, so that is Kinsabi as a place only. Get Your Bets On and Wall Street Girl in races 7 and 8 respectively for Ollie, and as I said with Matt, the Honours place only, Wall Street Girl, Me Flash to end the day. All right, to Gloucester Park tomorrow night, and again last week, gents, it was all in and around it. Ollie, a couple of seconds. Matt, obviously codename Marcus, was well supported and won accordingly towards the back part of last Tuesday night's Gloucester Park meeting. So, again, we'll start with you here, Matt, and you're going to the opener tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're going to bookend the card tomorrow, Tim. So, American Cruise was very much eye-catching first up, bolting for a run, going to the line. First up win was brilliant, last preparation. This horse has got the draw advantage, looks to be really well placed, and second up should go about it and get the victory. So I was pretty keen on the chances of American Cruise in race 1, and then we wait. We count our money nice and slowly, and we wait until the last, and Cam's Boulder has got the good draw. Now, notoriously, he's not the best away from the gate, but last start he showed some good speed. Ryan Warwick drove him on that occasion, so I'm expecting Ryan has been able to get a good feel for him off the arm and should be able to send him off the arm again. He looks a likely leader. You just forgive last run, being in the breeze, got a little bit tired late. I'm expecting him to lead, and this doesn't look to be any stronger. I think it's even a touch weaker than the start before, so I thought he'd be able to get the job done in the last. Race 1, American Cruise. Race 9, Cam's Boulder.
All right, American Cruise and Cam's Boulder for Matt. Now, Ollie, you're going to the middle part of the program. You're going to start off in race number 4.
In race 4, I'm going to go against one I've had as a favourite recently, a little bit of fun. I really like the way it's going, but I think the one on its back here will get a really good run in, better or worse. I thought last start it was pretty unlucky, just dragged out of it, and there wasn't much else it could have done late. It was just got out too late to make an impression, and it had some decent Victorian form, so I think it could be a decent place price and looks a decent 1/3 type bet, better or worse in race 4. And then in race 5, I think there's a couple here that will be quite decent prices to place. I think around the even money for both of them would be pretty good. In Relatively Armour, just nothing went right last start and dropped right out of it, but just had done too much work early, and happy to forgive that one bad run. I think it'll get straight to the front here, showing really good gate speed, and then has options, I think, probably sit on Waterloo. And then the other one in the race is Lenora Jane. I think they'll both run second or third in whatever order. So I think either way, whichever one's a better price to place, you can play it that way.
All right, Lenora Jane and Relatively Armour on the place basis there. Obviously, Waterloo is going to be very much the one to watch there tomorrow night. We get to see her for the first time for a couple of weeks. And Ollie also going better or worse on the 1/3. Now, gents, as well, Narrogin Cup nominations have just come through thanks to Michael McDermott. So Al Capone, Better Move Along, Feeling Aces, Galactic Star, Gov Stars, Hampton Banner, Highly Flammable, Jetstar. You've got Khaleesi, Nullarbor Navajo, Penny Tiger, Rockmeister, Too Fast, Too Serious, Volton, Tin and While They Pray. So it's clearly going to be all eyes Penny Tiger in regards to where he draws Matt, and then clearly what happens at the start as well. But it'll be exciting to see him again after his Fremantle Cup placing.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to run a really good race in that event. Yeah, I mean, last year we had Magnificent Storm go around in the Narrogin Cup, and he dominated, and he scared a lot of his counterparts away. So looks Penny Tiger's chance, as long as he gets a frontline draw. I guess that's what it comes down to.
Absolutely. All right, Ollie, we will hear from you later on in the week with the team on Talking Trots, and Matt will have you again tomorrow morning on the Sports Daily for a preview of the Gloucester Park meeting. Thanks to you both. Ollie, first to you for joining us this morning on Off and Pacing.
Thanks very much, Tim.
And all the best to you as well, Matt. The Trots WAX page will be the place to be today.
Exactly right. Cheers, boys. Have a good day.
There is Matt Young and Ollie Cownie with their look at Pinjarra and Gloucester Park. We'll take a very short break here on Off and Pacing. When we come back, Aiden Campo will be with us.
Why are more people choosing Retrovision for all the electrical stuff they love? Well, I know our AC members love saving an extra 5% every day. Want to shop with confidence? Well, you've got Retrovision's lowest price guarantee. If it's more about shopping stress-free, check out our buy now, pay later options. And then, of course, who doesn't love shopping with Retrovision's 60-day price promise? So for all the electrical stuff you love, you're going to love shopping with us in-store or online at retrovision.com.au.
2002, video 22, video 24, 24, now 25. At to 25, going once, going twice. Sold to another happy bidder at Ross's Auctions.
If you need a vehicle, truck and other transport, chances are Ross's Auctions already have it. Vehicle fleets, commercial vehicles, trucks and mining equipment. Check out the gear and place your bid today. You can find Ross's Auctions throughout the state with permanent locations in Perth, Kalgoorlie, Karratha and a recently opened complex in Bunbury. Log on to auctions.com.au. MD 5681.
Retrovision's bonus sale is on now with big bonuses on selected products store-wide, like bonus gift cards up to $200 on selected refrigeration or bonus scan pan on selected cooking. Retrovision's bonus sale on now, in-store or online.
They are Off and Pacing on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Great to have your company this Monday morning on Off and Pacing, and also great to have the company of Aiden Campo, a couple of winners on Friday nights, and Trent Wheeler did a good job, obviously, in Aiden's absence, kept the team ticking over quite nicely, and we'll also look towards the next couple of days with Aiden as well. Good morning to you, Aiden.
Yeah, good morning, Timmy. Yeah, no, it's good she got on more holidays. Trent looked like he held the fort really well.
Yeah, he's pretty happy. He was happy to get the double there on Friday night. How did you assess it all watching on?
Well, mate, I was a fair few beers deep on Friday night at a mate's wedding in Byron Bay. So, didn't watch them live, but looked up the results, and then I was pretty happy with it in the morning when I watched the replay.
Absolutely. So let's work through them. So Miss Hepburn firstly, and we'll obviously touch on Miss Hepburn tomorrow night as out of this. What was your take there on Friday night, the way that she got the job done?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised with the run, Tim. She's a quality filly. She's always run really good races up against the best horses. Her first few runs back, she got that fight and she was able to show what she could do and run a good time over the mile as well.
Absolutely. And so tomorrow night, then, it's clearly a trickier draw, and drawn outside Exceptional Armour, who will wait and see how she does go tomorrow night after Friday night. But how did you assess that from barrier number 8, a tricky assignment ahead?
Yeah, I haven't had a great look at it, Tim, but like I said, she's good enough filly. Should have enough class to get her through to the final 10 days later. It's just whether we work forward or whether we go back. We'll just have to drive to the pace of the race. But, she's pulled up really good from Friday night and ate up over the weekend and all that. So can't see why she won't go good tomorrow.
How much, clearly, obviously, you'd like to get another win on the board there tomorrow night. But as you said, there is an eye towards Friday week as well. It's such a fine line in how you approach it.
It is, Tim. First 5 across the line, I think there's 8 or 9 in it, so you've got to beat a few home. But, I think the versatility of this horse has got a bit of toughness as well as a little bit of high speed. So, we're just going to drive to the pace of the race. These races can be tricky sometimes when everyone's driving to qualify, you know. Yes,
absolutely. We'll come back and have a look at the balance of GP tomorrow night in just a moment. But your other winner from Gloucester Park Friday night, of course, Rock and Roll Artist, putting a picket fence together, and the way that Rock and Roll Artist went about that on Friday night, you must have been wrapped.
You there, mate?
Have we got you there, Aiden?
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Just might have dropped out. I was just asking about Rock and Roll Artist, put the picket fence together, and you must be wrapped with the way that Rock and Roll Artist is going about things at the moment.
Oh, definitely. Thanks. Had him racing down the Albany season, and he's quite close with Trent, and Trent's quite close with me, and suggested that it would be good once the Albany season finished, to have a crack at town with him. And, he's had the 5 starts for me for the 4 wins in a row now. And, he's got brilliant gate speed. And, what he does at home, he's got a fair bit of bottom to him as well. So, really happy with the way that horse is going. It's going to get harder for him now, but I expect him to, continue to earn. He's just got that brilliant gate speed, which always makes it really helpful.
Yeah, it'll hold him in good stead, no doubt. Now, let's turn our attention to today. We get to see a 2-year-old for the very first time. And I'm happy to be corrected on the pronunciation here, but I'll have a go. Como El Viento we get to see this one for the first time today. What's the expectations going to the races off the back of a few trials?
That pronunciation will do me, Tim. I left school in year 9. I'm no help to you.
Are you going there with high hopes?
Yeah, high hopes, Tim. I actually don't mind the horse. He's been a bit of a slow burn. He kind of coming up with another one. He was kind of always behind, but over the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's really switched on and gone for the trials, and that he's kind of switched on a little bit more. He's always had really low heart rates and stuff like that, which suggests that he's not giving us 100% just yet, and I still expect him to improve more from this first up run. But good draw today. He felt like he got out good in trials the other day, and we'll press forward, hopefully hold the front and make every post a winner from there. Right,
okay. Obviously, we have seen Dylan's filly drawn in barrier number 2. Did you think that she was the big danger?
Yeah, definitely. She was good first up and looks to get a good run on our back if that's how the race works out. So, yeah, probably looks to be the main danger.
All right. How's She's a Mare tracking ahead of race number 3, the assignment that she's got?
Disappointing last start, Tim. I thought she probably had an opportunity to win that race. She did tie up quite bad when we got home and in the days afterwards. So I've been treating her as much as I can for that, and hopefully we've got her back on the right foot today. And the 1100 is going to suit her really well. She's got a heap of gate speed as well. So she burns to the front and she runs up to her true ability. She'll be hard to beat. If she doesn't get to the front and she doesn't run up to her true ability, well, we're in a bit of pain.
We're having a chat here to Aiden Campo on Off and Pacing this Monday morning. Now, just to get back to Gloucester Park tomorrow night, so you've got a couple there. Could you give Soho Confidential, Master Leighton, or even Major Carita a winning chance, or is it very much each way chances across the board there?
Yeah, probably each way chances. I couldn't tell you how so Confidential go. I don't even think he knows yet. He just rocks up and does what he wants anyway. Major Carita's racing well, but another tricky draw and tricky race. And Master Leighton's probably a touch of a class dropper. He's been racing Friday nights back to Tuesday, but the draw makes it hard for him, you would have thought. All
right, now just an update on a couple of the exciting 3-year-olds, Grievous and also Menemsha. How are they tracking along?
Yeah, both in the paddock at the moment, Tim. Menemsha, he had those 4 starts, wasn't able to win one, but put a few really good runs in. But just wasn't 100% happy with him this whole preparation. I've kind of been patching a few things up with him, and it just wasn't 100% with him, every time he went around. So just thought we'd freshen him up now, give him a good 6 to 8 weeks off, and then bring him back for those bigger races later in the year. And Grievous is a bit the same, mate. He done a good job this time in as well, and after his last run, he's gone out for a bit of a break as well. So, both in the paddock at the moment. All
right, hopefully see them back fit and firing for the Derby and a couple of other feature races later on this year. Aiden, thanks for your time this morning. Good luck over the next 24 hours. Hopefully can be a few more winners, and you've got a lot to live up to after the job that Trent did on Friday night.
No worries, Timmy. Appreciate it.
There is Aiden Campo with us, rounding out off and pacing for this Monday morning. All the very best over the next couple of days. Hopefully we've been able to help you find a few winners. Of course, just a quick recap on today at Pinjarra. So Ollie with Kinsabi, the place only in race 6. He's also with Get Your Bets On and Wall Street Girl in race 7 and 8. The honours place only for Matt in race 1 today. He's with Wall Street Girl, Me Flash in race 8 and 9 respectively. For Matt tomorrow night at Gloucester Park, American Cruise and Cam's Boulder, the bookends of the meeting. And Ollie, better or worse, 1 by 3 basis in race 4. Relatively armour, Lenora Jane to place in race 5. I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Leah Ernest for race day. Look forward to your company, firstly on the Sports Daily tomorrow morning from 5:30 with Digby Beecham, and then I'll be back as well next Monday morning for another edition of Off and Pacing. Have a wonderful day.